to the day since I've streamed this game. That's pretty fucking crazy. I wanted to multiple times. It's just been really, really busy, and there's other stuff that you want to see aside from this, obviously. But I want to stream the game. I like streaming it. It's fun. But after we finish this game, probably gonna switch over to, I don't know. Maybe we'll do River City Girls. Maybe we'll do some LA Noir. I don't know which one we're gonna do. Something. But yeah. Maybe I finished, since there's 3 games in this, I finished one. Yeah, maybe that's what I do. I finished this, right? I finished this episode, or whatever. Then I switch over to River City Girls. I played that till I beat that. Then when I beat that game, the first one, I do Trials and Tribulations or whatever's next for Phoenix Wright. Then beat River City Girls 2. Then come back to Phoenix Wright, wrap it up. I thought that's not a bad plan. I don't know. But I think they got... No. I think it's just 3 games. I was going to say they might have like more than 3, but I think they got 3 games. Alright. Now, we're live. This is after the trial. Now all we gotta do another investigation and get so a quick recap of what happened last time. You know, that one dude who was in charge of watching the lockers is somewhat involved. Now, to what degree, we don't actually know, but we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure that out together. That's for sure. February 24th, 12:14 p.m., courtroom number 9. Oh, we're still in here. We will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Alana Scott. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howl and wind call it out. Marshall. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind. Oh shit, that scared me. My own voice. Howling wind. I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is that correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sand. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with it this quickly. Please share your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on the Bone Orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. That ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems. Anyway, if I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. His alibi is that he was not there. The judge shook his head. No, I wonder if there's any like indicator with that. Because I never really paid too much attention to it. When he nods his head or shakes his head no, is that like an indicator of like he's lying or telling the truth? That'd be really, really subtle and great detail if they were doing that, but I don't know. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowboy like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint activated locks. What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines. Or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright. He's all yours. Okay, so he thinks it's like airtight because he wasn't there. He said it was at some sort of saloon. What's the name of the saloon? Where's the saloon at? How far is it from the crime scene? You know what I mean? We got to figure out a lot of stuff here, and we also got to prove that he wasn't there. With there being security cameras, and we have his blood at the crime scene too. So if we can get like a security camera as to why he wouldn't be there, then okay. But he had to be there because his blood's there. Doesn't make sense. My job was to keep a weary eye on the bone orchard. Pressing on that. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Every time, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I erased the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Okay. It said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but it ain't my style. Well, there's proof that he didn't go in there 3 times a day. Or make rounds 3 times a day. Actually, no, there isn't. So I'm not sure what he's talking about. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No, Desperado, No Desperado, I know, lets rules get in his way. No Desperados, I know, join the police force. So Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. We already pressed him on that, I'm pretty sure, right? We pressed him on that at like the very beginning, or did we press him before he even finished testifying? I don't even know. I think I already did press him on that, but just now he's saying it in a different way. You used it to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. It doesn't make sense. He has to know how they work. He's saying he doesn't know how they work. Maybe they weren't always fingerprint lockers at the time. Maybe the fingerprint lockers are a new thing. The sensors on the locker handles can't be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. Okay, so some of them don't know about it because you can't even tell it's there. Okay. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel steak lunches can beat the parlor's Bongo Sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us You abandon your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you the lesson. That's strange. It's usually where Edgeworth says, Did you not want a raise this year? Ah, Edward's keeping his mouth shut about what Marshall is saying. Is he trying to protect someone? Now, we've been saying in the last one that it's actually the guy who's in charge of everybody, the big chief, the big boy. That's who, Damon Gant. That's the guy who actually did it. That's what we think, right? But considering what Edward's doing here, it seems like he wants us to just not, I don't know, just not get him. So he's just deflecting it by any means. I'm just an innocent traveling man. So if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse ain't waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I better up the ante. Now. Found on a bloody handprint. Okay, so he's definitely been in there. So we have to find the part where he says he hasn't been in there. I was just researching them when it went down. Can I present this? Because this ties into the scene of the crime. He says he was somewhere else. If you were somewhere else, then why is your blood here? Let's see. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here? Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints be in there. It's not just fingerprints though, it's bloody fingerprints out. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingers were covered in blood. Let's go, Phoenix. Talk to him. Talk to him. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however. A lumino test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on its shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Oh wait, I already heard his voice. Whoops. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Okay, so I'm guessing they were there before the crime scene happened? Or before the crime actually took place? I mean, that's where they're gonna go with? But let's just think about this. If I get blood on me, right? If my arm bleeds, I touch it or whatever, I touch something, you know what I mean? I'm only gonna get like a fingerprint or like a piece of my hand or whatever. We practically got this man's whole hand. So something had to happen, right? Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Okay, interesting. He's trying to tell us that he touched the locker just because. Okay. But just because he had happened to put his hand there, when they put their bloody hand where his hand was, it seems like he had bloody fingerprints. But in actuality, maybe someone with a glove touched the exact same spot his hand was. And if you can look at his hand right now, he has on gloves, but his fingerprints are showing. And at no point did we hear anything about him having bloody gloves or missing any attire at all. So, he might be telling the truth. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Witness' explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. That's my chance to prove it. So, now that we have evidence that ties into the scene, we can't prove that his hand was there with blood on it. That's something that we can't prove. He could have cut himself shaving at some point. And I feel like he told us that, but I'm not sure. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be at the evidence room, okay? That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. Okay, so that's another thing I was thinking about, like why would his hand be on a random locker? If that locker is his, of course his handprint would be on the locker. Now, how is it that someone touched that exact same spot with blood? I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem likely. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock this time without even knowing. All the time without even knowing. Okay. So found on a bloody handprint of Marshall's on a locker, the print had been wiped. Interesting. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. Okay. Press them on that because that's really weird. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Was it mine? It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened the murder touched the locker where my hand was by chance. Yeah, his hand would be all over his locker. That is true. His prints would be everywhere all over his locker to an extent, you know what I mean? To close it, you know, after he's used the fingerprint thing. Not everyone's going to use the handle to close, you know, a locker door. Sometimes they use the side. Sometimes you push it, you know, from behind or whatever. Sometimes you close it from the top. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. I see what he's saying. But the exact same spot, though, is just kind of crazy. That's all I'm saying. And who knows? Maybe the person's hand was bigger than it. Well, no, that's weird. They haven't talked about hand sizes, but maybe someone's hand is the exact same size as his to get the exact same, you know what I mean? The exact same measurements. Is it the exact same measurements? I don't know. I don't know. We're asking questions, but we're going to figure it out. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Did we press them on this? Let's try again just in case. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. How do you know that? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. Why did the music stop for that? One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Didn't you? Hold on a minute. Murder weapon, traces with the victim's blood, no prints. Yeah, had to have gloves on because there's no prints there. Is there anything we have? Let's see. Wound caused death, chest wound, stab was found. Nothing about prints in here. Pendant's muffler. If we could find any type of prints anywhere. Extremely thin rubber glove. As soon as written on the tag, it seems this is more evidence from that incident. Okay. Is there no way to like examine the glove with like some luminol or whatever? Can we like spray on the glove? It's very thin, extremely thin rubber glove. I feel like they're saying that because maybe the prints can kind of seep through, perhaps? We have gloves like that at my job. Can I use this on something? No. I don't see a button option for it. Okay, keep moving, keep moving. Okay, lights up. Yep. Jar, piece together. Pieces missing, okay. Okay, the print had been wiped. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. This is the one with the, yep, okay, gotcha. 2 years ago. Dark. These are all in the case. Gotcha. Don't need this right now. So I guess all we can do is press them on this. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. Oh, that's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprint was detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzers. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. That could be him dressed up in Detective Goodman's clothes. That could be him. I was thinking that last time, and he got into a fight with Meekins and rocked his shit. I don't know. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. So we're going to start right back from the beginning. So there is evidence I'm supposed to present, it seems like. But it started me here and not at the end. Now, that means we need to check this right here. Because otherwise, why would they show me that? Let's look at this. But where will we present this? because I'm assuming we need to present it. Right? There's no one here. And then our guy walks by. He doesn't have gloves on. Did you notice that? He's not wearing gloves. That's definitely Detective Goodman then, right? From that side view. Right? It's got to be him. So it's not Marshall at all in there. He's not dressed as Detective Goodman. I only said it's got to be him from the side view because if you look... Can we look at... Oh, they don't let me look at the court records right now. Okay. Wait a minute. Too bad it wasn't me in that video. Right, partner? Oh, okay, this is the last thing we gotta press. Got you. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots. Places you can't see. That's true. The camera is panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without even being caught on tape. Without ever being caught on tape, I guess is what they said. I don't know. I probably read that wrong. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do now. Yeah, we can do it. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us the incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. No! I can't pause it. Dude, the music is still playing. No! I was supposed to mute it before this started. Oh no. Well, you know what? We avoided this song all last stream. Now it's time we have to listen. There. I did not mean to present, by the way. How's that for evidence? Please allow me to apologize for my colleague, Your Honor. He gets carried away sometimes. I pressed the wrong button. Yes, well, that certainly isn't the first. Will you forgive him too, Miss Officer Marshall? He's not a bad man, just a bit disillusioned. Of course. I'm not willing to gun down unarmed boys. Oh, great. Now Edgeworth is defending me. Guess that means I missed the mark. Very well, let's get back to cross-examination. Fuck. So we need to go back to that video and try that one more again. Blah, 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 blah. Press. Yep. Dee-be-da, dee-be-da, dee-be-da. Dee-be-da. Hold on. And I caught it this time. There we go. Alright. Yep. Show evidence. Yep. Okay. Alright. So I think I know what we gotta look for. I could be wrong. Okay. So right there is panning back and forth. Officer Jake Marshall's locker is on the far left over here. When Detective Goodman goes by, his locker is closed. I believe his locker is either right here or right here. All these lockers are closed. If any of these lights come on or the door is open, then we'll know he was in here. That's what I'm going to guess. But we'll keep looking for other stuff too, just in case. Detective Goodman goes into the locker. It's definitely his. A glove falls out. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Meekins is right here. The camera's gonna go all the way down. It's clearly Meekins. I don't see anything wrong with him. Officer Jake Marshall's locker is still untouched. Okay. Meekins comes in. He's trying to check out what's going on. No indicators. A lot of blind spots. They're fighting. There's blood all over the jacket right here. Got a knife in hand as well. Is it the knife right here? Is this Jake's knife? Because he's using a knife right in front of us. So is it the knife that I'm looking for? Maybe. Still, his locker is untouched. Nothing to see here. Meekins is down. The locker is still open. I don't see anything. Ooh. It's this. That was not there at the start of the video. It's this right here. Hold on. Let's rewind that back. So this is after the scuffle. Watch. We go back. Nothing's there. Fast forward. And there's going to be a cloth in that first locker. I thought it was going to be a light or something. It's not a light. When he closed the locker to get whatever he was trying to get, he left this hanging out. It's this right here. Gotta be. Gotta be. That's it. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. So it's not his knife because the knife is way darker than the one he's got in his hand. Okay. The days are short in Texas, and so are your tempers. Or so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Is that 8 words? Yes, it is. Good shit, Phoenix. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in this video. Bada boom. That locker with the white cloth sticking out, that was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Just like I said, it was not there. So I was right, the video was important. I just didn't know why. But I caught it because I'm a genius. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What does it mean in this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Oh! Oh! Exposed. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. But you got the wrong man. When my locker was opened, that doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. He doesn't know about the fingerprint bopper. He had to be the one who opened it. That's why Edward is looking like that. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Everyone here knows something is wrong, but he doesn't because he doesn't understand technology. So he wasn't lying about that. He actually has no clue. Why is everyone staring at me like that? Like I'm a wanted man. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh, yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. There's only one way, man. There's only one way. You need to have a fingerprint on the locker. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's opened. A fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the lockers aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you say in 8 words or less? Hold on. I forgot to turn the music back on. It's kind of weird. Only got one word for you, partner. No! Turn the music back on. Order, order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Well, please answer the question. What the hell was that? He's never said that before. What is he now? A bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He wasn't here or here. He had to be over here. Because he couldn't have been Meekins. Or he wasn't the killer. We definitely saw Meekins was the one who fought, hold on, my dog's growling at me, I'm not sure why. 1 second. Wow. My mic was muted for a while there, but now it's unmuted. Fuck. It was muted for a while because I went to go check on my dog and I forgot to unmute it. Damn. But y'all can read the text and all that, and you can see what's happening as it happens. So I think it's okay. It's fine. It would have been nice if someone would have, joined the stream and said something, but, people don't say anything when they join my streams, which is weird. Anyways. I should have checked, I guess. But, basically, I'm pretty sure it was Damon Gant. Who, yeah, I just realized I was muted. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it was Damon Gant who went in there. That's why he has number 777 and all that. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how Miles went in there and didn't see a blood stain, but I guess maybe he did it, he just didn't say anything. Or he was sworn to secrecy or something. That's why he's not talking much, he's being noticeably quiet. I'm not sure. But I think we got it. I've been over here reading and talking this whole time for the past maybe 15 or so minutes, and I didn't even realize that I was muted. That fucking sucks, man. It really does. That does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? We know when it happened. I was just looking at it. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to the Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the floor or the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows the first... Yeah. It's right here. Because once again, there's a name on here unaccounted for at the very top. So that must be when it took place. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card must or would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record. Yep. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 5:50 p.m. Oh, 5:50 p.m. If the crime took place before the time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miss Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you'd have the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure it out. It couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. True. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Miles Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Yeah. Okay, cool. He's got an alibi right there. How could he have possibly do all that in 10 minutes? That makes sense. Let's look at the chart again. We know what it is. There's only one other card number remaining. 77777. Yeah. Why did they drag that out so much? Of course it was the one with no one's name on it. Anyways. Because that gives them 20 minutes to do all that. before Miles comes in. And if he doesn't, finish the job, of course, then technically he would have 30 minutes. And it would be 30 minutes if Miles helped him. But I don't think he did. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's a record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murder. Ah, yeah, of course. Yeah, they enter at the same time. True. Yeah. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. So, but technically that could mean all the other records, it could have been, more than one person coming in at the same time. No, that's weird. Hold on. Because if they came in at the same time, look at this. Bruce Goodman, not Bruce Goodman, Jake Marshall, and Meekins come in at 5:14 p.m. at the same time. See that? Or you could even argue it might have been seconds apart. So why would Bruce Goodman and whoever came in the real murder come in at the same time but not mark it twice? See what I'm saying? Unless like whoever's at 7-7 number has like a guest pass or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777. Mr. Edwards, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm able to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. I don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. This is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. Or there is one situation, okay. If an official charge filed against an executive is completed or is accepted. So we have to file the charge against an executive, okay? An official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask you this. Yes. No, not you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. You own your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play with me for a full partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The S09 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do we need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edwards. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During the trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in the court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence, what the hell? Damn. So he committed those other murders, but he probably didn't kill Neil. Unless Damon Gant killed, I'm still thinking it's him. Unless he killed Neil and then said, boom, another murder, all he left evidence behind, so it was him, and that's how we get him. Because there's no other way to get him. Which is crazy. I don't know if that's what they did, but I could definitely see that happening. Now that we're talking about forging evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Oh, people are pissed. Order! 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 Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. It's been 2 months since we played the game, and it was a long, lengthy period of time of me not talking because I had my fucking mic muted and I didn't realize it. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. February 24th, 3:12 p.m., Wright and Co. offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. Just the way it is. I did what we had to in order to get him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the S&I incident was just another name for the Joe Dart killing. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dart convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean what happened to you? It's all in the file. Joe Dart's last victim was Officer Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neal was murdered, Joe Dart tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was trying to save me. So that means yes. I was a witness to Joe Dart's trial. I didn't see that one coming. Okay, we can ask her about it, why not? It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year too. It was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dart. It seemed like he was running with it from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dart tried taking me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the officer for an instant. What I saw was burned in a permanent picture in my brain. I can still see it now. A permanent picture. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Joe Dart knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. The marshal was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Damn. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grow up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimony and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana will never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes. But I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being falsely or given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up with what she did, especially not to Emma. Okay? There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in her entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her. Okay. She's probably at the detention center, I would assume. Right? Okay, that's pretty easy. February 24th, detention center, visitor's room. So the way things are going now, this must be reality. This can't be a dream anymore. So I guess we're just going to ignore them reading his thoughts or whatever for now. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risk. Lana. Emma told me about you. Oh. About how you were a detective 2 years ago. How the S&I incident was the reason for your transfer to prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. At trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believe in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At the trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. I still think that he got killed. I think he got killed at the police department. He got brought to the parking lot, and Lana stabbed him in the exact same spot again, so that it would look like she's the one who killed him, and she made sure she was seen by someone else when she did it. That's what I think happened. She's basically the fall guy for whoever actually did it. Now, why she accepted being the fall person, no fucking clue. Unless maybe that person was thinking about killing Emma next. I don't know. Why wouldn't you tell us? Oh, they were probably going to say that she forged the evidence. That's what it is. They were probably going to say, oh no, she actually forged the evidence, and then she wouldn't be able to see her sister anymore. So she didn't want to take that risk of going to jail and not being able to protect her sister. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Okay? 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command. That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. We even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now, you tell us. Okay. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by the Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers with Gant and Marshall. Oh, while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, and Emma, who had passed out. The suspect, Joe Dark. Oh, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had occurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. Damn, so he fought through the pain type shit. Okay. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. I don't know if y'all noticing, but my reading has gotten way better since I started this, which is the whole purpose of me playing this game, to be honest, just to get better at, like, reading. Uh-oh. I Don't you crash. Don't you crash on me. Okay. Might just been lagging on my end. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of the police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. So maybe it was his idea to forge the evidence, and then like with that, Lana would get moved to a higher position, and then so would he. I don't know. Maybe I should ask more about the investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Let me get this straight. You're all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in the trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes. His actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of the case. Everyone has to live with the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Joe Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Maybe we should. How the fuck did we get there? Oh shit. Someone was expecting us to come this way, apparently. Because normally when you just switch to different places, it doesn't do this unless there's some sort of conversation to be had. Or something happened. February 24th, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what actually went on or went down in the evidence room. They must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case, but instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. What is going on? Is it not here? It should be here, right? This is Edgeworth's room. Maybe he can tell us where to go? Okay. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. He took a real beating in the court today. Yeah, but Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago, I guess we'll just have to come back later. Okay. So I was wrong. It's not this way. So is it in here? Police department entrance. Oh shit. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. Never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Yes, sir, sir. I don't know what that means. You never know where life will lead you. Hey, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried out this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go into the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Okay, we can ask some questions. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip? This was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What do you mean? It means there is a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? The case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. Okay. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Okay. So every detective was involved except one. Okay. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Wow, so he's saying they both worked together to forge evidence to make sure that they got Joe Dark, and to keep the other ones quiet, they got them fired. But they couldn't get all three of them fired, so they kept Goodman around, and I guess eventually they ended up getting him killed. So Lana did work with Damon Gant then, I guess, right? Is that what that means? I don't know. The investigation led Damon Gant, or the investigation lead Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Yeah, she did say something like that. She was saying that like she was the best and they were cool and all that. And then she just became super cold after everything that happened. Now, why would she become so cold? It's almost like there's something on her mind that she's like withholding. But what is it? Obviously, everyone knows about the Forge thing, right? So why would she feel so cold about that? You know what I mean? I don't know. Because everyone knew about it. And now even more people know about it, and she's still kind of cold. As if, like, that wasn't what was on her mind. That wasn't the thing that was bothering her. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. Okay, back up here. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother. He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day of the SO9 incident took place. That wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years had gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence when the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop me. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one more thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get the guilty verdict, but someone was the one who gave him the evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Damn. Well, he knows it was Damon. He said it. He had no reason to lie to us. He's going to jail. Damn, man. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. So, that means that for sure, it was Damon Gant. But why kill Goodman? Because he was investigating what happened? I guess if he would have figured out what happened, that would have mean that, you know, or if he could prove that the evidence was forged, then that would have, you know, Lana and Gant convicted. And Gant was like, I'm not losing my power. How about I kill you? This wasn't always pretty empty. This place is always pretty empty, but today's it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for others, they're all in the conference room. Is this Gant? Thanks? Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor. Is it that guy in the middle? Is he the chief? I'm confused. The chief prosecutor is saying what she did and this decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word you usually use for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Wow, he's just gonna let us go. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, that was... Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Huh. I don't think I need a voice for that guy. What in the blue hell is this? Is the organ going to start playing? February 24th, Police Department, Chief's Office. Yeah. This is something that always plays when you see him. Whoa, where am I? In the Chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out the pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach, I guess? I don't know. I thought it was a genius until... I never could remember where C was. Hmm? Oh, shit. It's you two. Chief Gant. He put the paper he was reading in his desk. Well, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my own hands full too, with Mr. Marshall misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years ago, or 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Photo at the award ceremony. Okay. Huh. What is wrong with this picture? Oh, I know what's wrong with the picture. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that I need to attend to, or that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's get out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Don't leave. No. God damn it. I guess you probably would have gone to jail if we stayed there. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Just fucking go back in there, right? Or we can get permission from somebody. Who will we get permission from? Can Lana give us permission? No. Unless we present her with this right here, because she's in the photo, so. And this is what I noticed about it, by the way. So, I don't have a cursor, but in the background, behind the left shoulder of Neil, that vase is involved in the evidence room, because it's got blood on it, right? See how it has blood on it? They don't say whose blood it is or anything like that. The piece is missing. We'll present her with this though, just to see what she says. I think my dog is trying to get my attention again, so I will be right back. Also, whoever's watching, make sure you tell me to unmute my mic, please. BRB. If you're still here, that is, of course.